Hi, welcome to Grazi. So Grazi is a smart hosting assistant that handles dinner planning and execution. So we started out our research with interviewing 8 home cooks. We wanted to know what gets them motivated to cook in the kitchen, why did they start cooking, what are their frustrations, what makes them proud. And we found a lot of very interesting information. We got many stories of stress, joy, and experimentation in the kitchen. Through all of those interviews, we found some themes. We did some affinity clustering here. One thing that we found was many of our home cooks wanted to cook at home more in order to save some money. It's a lot cheaper to cook at home. Many of our cooks felt motivated to cook for their loved ones. That was a big factor for them. We also found that many of our cooks felt a lot of anxiety when anybody outside of their immediate family was coming over for a meal. That was a really hard thing for them to work through. Then we found that many people cook at home in order to control the tastes and the ingredients in their food for any kind of reasons, maybe health reasons or personal preferences. Many of our cooks felt like a big part of their cooking journey was being exposed to other cultures and trying out new ingredients and new foods, new methods even maybe. Some of our cooks preferred to cook with a recipe, while others were more trial and error, and some started off with recipes and have moved to trial and error cooking. We also found that depending on what was going on at home, maybe some health things coming up or having kids or moving, for any number of reasons, people's diets would shift over time. So we looked at the pain points and we came up with some possible ideas for addressing them. And we looked at our effort versus value matrix, and we found that there was one idea especially that had a really big pain point, which was cooking for guests, hosting dinner parties. That was such a big pain point, and it placed as a high impact and medium effort, so we knew that was the one to focus on. Hosting dinners should be enjoyable. Yes, 75% of our users felt stressed and overwhelmed. Why is that? Well, first there's the decision fatigue. When choosing the dishes, there's just so many options out there. Another thing was shopping, when there's so many different, there's the appetizer, the entree, the dessert, and just figuring out all the different aspects that you need to shop for. Cooking multiple dishes at once was tricky. Having guests with dietary needs and accommodating those was tricky. And then on the day of, having burnt dishes or missing an ingredient or miscalculating the time were issues that the chefs had. One home cook said, "I love cooking, but I always second guess myself when I'm making something for guests." Let's take a look at our competitors. So there's some meal planning apps such as Yumly that organize recipes, but they don't offer execution support or event planning. There's meal kit services such as HelloFresh that provide pre-measured ingredients, but they don't offer flexibility for hosting for a certain amount of people. There's cooking tutorial platforms such as YouTube that teach techniques but don't offer real-time guidance. And then there's AI cooking tools such as Side Chef or grocery delivery such as Instacart that help with shopping but don't integrate the hosting process. So there's a gap here for an all-in-one hosting assistant that helps plan, execute, and troubleshoot dinner parties effortlessly. Let's take a look at the market. So the market is a $300 billion food tech industry. And by this year of 2025, over 45% of Americans will be hosting at least one dinner party per year. Many will host much more than that. Some monetizing options could be premium subscriptions, such as a $10 a month subscription with 100,000 active users could bring in $12 million annually. There's opportunities for meal kit partnerships, AI-powered chef consultations, or affiliate commissions. So what's in it for the host? Why would they use this app? The main thing would be reducing hosting stress and therefore increasing your social engagements and bringing people together to have healthier homemade meals. Reducing food waste is another benefit by better meal planning. And if just 1 million people host one additional home-cooked dinner per month, it could lead to millions of dollars saved on dining out and healthier eating habits. One of our users said it felt really good when my friend told me it was the best meal they'd had in a long time. It made all the effort worth it. Here we've mapped out some shareholders who are all involved in the cooking experience. And next we categorized where our home cooks landed. In this quadrant, we've got the frat boys who are extremely social but inexperienced cooks. We've got the hermits, which are inexperienced and also not very social. Our artisans are not super social, but they're pretty experienced in the kitchen. And then our hosts they're more social, they're more experienced. They're the ones we're going to focus on. All right, let's meet Corinne. So Corinne's 29. She's from Austin, Texas. She's a marketing manager, lives with her fiance. She loves to cook, started learning in her mid-20s, but she's not totally confident in herself. Her goals are she wants more confidence in the kitchen. She wants to be able to personalize her recipes to fit preferences and guests' dietary needs. She wants to discover new cuisines and improve her cooking skills. So her pain points are anxiety when cooking for guests. She struggles with meal planning. There's too many scattered resources and she's not sure how to adapt the recipes. Let's take a look at Corinne's journey. So here's where we left her. She wanted to have a dinner party with her friends. She started to look at ideas. It got overwhelmed, so she Googled what are some apps to help her, and she found Grazi. So here we are at Grazi. So what can Grazi do? Well, it can customize your menu based on your diet, allergies, how much time you want to spend cooking, the difficulty, and what tools are available to you. It can automate your grocery list. It'll give you step-by-step instructions. But what really blew Corinne away was that it has a parallel cooking view, so she can do multiple dishes at once. She can live chat with the chef. She can also manage her guests with her RSVPs, and they can submit their dietary preferences, etc. She also has a feast feed where she can scroll other people's dinner parties. It's like an Instagram type scroll where she can see what they made and check out. She can even copy their menu. Okay, here's our user flow. It's kind of everything I just went through. Here, she invites the friend. They submit their stuff. It goes back to her. And she can go through the cooking process that way. Wireframes, same thing. Okay, all right. So what's next for Grazi? Well, there's a lot of integrating more technology. There's more AI, possibly VR in the future. The first one idea would be to integrate a step-by-step AI guidance with built-in timers and progress tracking. There's a hands-free, just voice-activated control to help with to not have to do extra things with your hands. We've got VR, virtual, and live classes such as plating and presentation or specialty cooking classes. There will also be some post-dinner features such as smart leftover ideas and meal rating and feedback for the guests, and saving menus for future use. And there's more opportunities with feast feed growth, such as integrating stories and reels and guest chef lives sessions for cooking demos and Q&A with culinary experts. And there you have Grazi. Thank you for coming to my Grazi talk.